They don't have claws like lions or fangs like wolves, yet these creatures can blind you, crush bones, and even end lives. From the silent killers of the night to the feathered tanks of the tropics, this is the most dangerous bird on every continent. You see, when we think of birds, we imagine beauty and not brutality. They sing, they soar, they symbolize freedom. But in the raw, unscripted world of nature, feathers don't always mean fragility. Across every continent, there's one winged creature that proves elegance can hide savagery. Some kill with talons sharper than knives, some use their wings as shields or hammers, and others will attack without warning, driven by pure territorial rage. So let's travel across the world, continent by continent, and meet the most dangerous birds ever to evolve, creatures that remind us nature's beauty can be armed and lethal. Oceania, the cassowary, the living dinosaur. In the dense rainforests of northern Australia and Papua New Guinea, there's a bird that looks like it walked straight out of the Jurassic era, the southern cassowary, jet black feathers, a bright blue neck, a towering 6-foot frame, and on its head, a helmet of bone called a casque that slices through the thick jungle like a blade through silk. This isn't a bird built for flight, it's built for battle. The cassowary can sprint at 50 kilometers per hour, leap over 5-foot obstacles, and swim across rivers with ease. Its legs are pillars of muscle, each one armed with a claw longer than a dagger. One kick can tear flesh open like paper. Locals call it the world's most dangerous bird, and they're not exaggerating. Cassowaries have been known to disembowel humans, leaving victims bleeding out in the underbrush. It doesn't hunt people, but it doesn't tolerate them either. Step too close to its chicks, touch its food, or even stare for too long, and you'll trigger an ancient instinct that predates human civilization. The cassowary lowers its head, it fluffs its feathers, it makes a deep, booming growl that feels more like an earthquake in your chest, and then it charges. No warning, no second chance, just 2 kicks, and silence. But here's the haunting part. That helmet, the casque, isn't just armor. Scientists believe it helps the cassowary detect low-frequency sounds, meaning it can hear you coming long before you realize it's near. It knows you're there. It knows your distance, and if you're a threat, it acts first. This is a bird that's part guardian, part ghost of the dinosaur age. The last reminder that birds are dinosaurs, and some haven't forgotten it. Africa, the ostrich, the desert titan. Across the golden savannas of Africa under a merciless sun walks a bird that doesn't need wings to dominate the skies. The ostrich, it's the largest bird alive, up to 9 feet tall, weighing over 150 kilograms, with eyes the size of billiard balls. It doesn't fly because it doesn't need to. On land, it's a blur of muscle and fury, able to sprint over 70 kilometers per hour. But the ostrich's real weapon isn't its speed, it's its kick. Each leg is a muscular cannon ending in a 5-inch claw, sharp, curved, and strong enough to kill a lion with one blow. That's not myth. It's recorded fact. Even the great predators of the Serengeti give ostriches space. When threatened, the ostrich lowers its head, spreads its wings wide like a warrior's cape, and delivers a strike that can crush bone and tear open flesh. Most animals would use that power to hunt, but not the ostrich. It uses it to survive, because for all its strength, the ostrich lives in a brutal world. Hyenas, cheetahs, humans. Every day is an ambush waiting to happen. So when it fights to end it fast. And if you ever encounter one, don't run. It'll catch you. Don't fight. You'll lose. Hide, wait, and pray it forgets you exist. But here's the twist. For all its danger, the ostrich is also a devoted parent. Males and females share the nest. They take turns guarding eggs, and when danger comes, they'll sacrifice themselves before they abandon their young. It's not just the strongest bird in Africa, it's one of the most fearless, a creature that defends its life, its mate, and its offspring with the force of a stampede. North America and the great horned owl, the silent executioner. Now we fly north into the cold forests of North America. Night falls, the air is still, and from the shadows a shape moves, a soundless, patient, perfect. The great horned owl, this is nature's assassin. Its wings are covered in microscopic fringes that cancel out the sound of air moving. When it flies, it's pure silence. Even bats can't hear it coming. Its talons, over 500 pounds of pressure per square inch. That's enough to crush the spine of a dog. But it's not just the power that's terrifying, it's the precision. The great horned owl is a tactical killer. It watches from above for hours, its yellow eyes locked on movement below. When it finally strikes, it dives with unrelenting focus, talons forward, beak ready to pierce, rabbits, skunks, raccoons, even other birds of prey, nothing is off limits. And when it grabs something, it doesn't let go. Its feet can lock in place using a special tendon, meaning the prey can't escape even if it dies midair. It's ruthless, it's efficient, it's the ghost of the night. But even this hunter has an eerie side. Native legends call it the messenger of death. And for centuries, people have believed that when you hear its deep hoot, someone nearby won't live to see the dawn. It's a myth, but spend one night in the forest and you'll understand why it exists. That haunting call, that soundless strike, that feeling of being watched even when you can't see anything, that's the great horned owl, North America's silent executioner, South America, the harpy eagle, the apex of the sky. In the dense green chaos of the Amazon, where trees stretch toward heaven and sunlight barely touches the ground, rules a creature so magnificent and terrifying, it's worshipped as a god by some tribes, the harpy eagle. With a 7-foot wingspan and talons longer than a grizzly bear's claws, this bird is the undisputed apex predator of the rainforest. It doesn't soar high like a condor. It lurks beneath the canopy, waiting, listening, calculating. When it spots prey, a sloth, a monkey, or a raccoon, it dives like a thunderbolt. The moment those talons make contact, it's over. Each talon can exert over 700 pounds of pressure, enough to crush bone and snap necks in an instant. The harpy doesn't chase, it ambushes. Its face looks almost human, with forward-facing eyes, a beak curved into permanent rage, and feathered crests that rise like a crown. But behind that beauty is a mind built for killing. It can memorize routes of prey through trees, anticipate their movement, and strike before they even know it's watching. It's so powerful that when it carries prey back to its nest, the branches beneath it shake like thunder. To the indigenous people of the Amazon, the harpy isn't just a bird. It's the reincarnation of fallen warriors, silent, fearless, unstoppable. And it's not wrong. In a jungle filled with predators, this one rules the sky. The perfect blend of power, patience, and predation. Europe, the mute swan, the elegant killer. Europe's most dangerous bird hides behind grace. It glides across ponds like a dream, white feathers glowing under sunlight, a symbol of peace, purity, and beauty. But approach too close, and the mute swan reveals its other side. It hisses, it spreads its wings like 10 feet wide, and then it charges. Mute swans are intensely territorial. During breeding season, they'll attack anything that enters their space, dogs, foxes, even boats. And when they strike, they do it with wings strong enough to break bones. A single blow can fracture a human arm. There have been cases where a swan's attack has led to people drowning, dragged under as the bird blocks their escape. But here's what makes them truly dangerous. They don't give up. Once a swan decides you're a threat, it will pursue you relentlessly, hissing, striking, battering until you leave or fall. It's hard to imagine something so beautiful being so violent, but that's the paradox of nature. The most peaceful faces sometimes hide the most aggressive hearts, and the mute swan, it's living proof that elegance can kill. Asia, the Himalayan vulture, the guardian of death above the world's tallest peaks, where oxygen fades and the air freezes, soars a giant that feeds on death itself. The Himalayan vulture, with a 10-foot wingspan and a body built to ride icy winds, it glides across mountain ridges searching for carcasses, yaks, goats, even humans lost to the cold. It's not a hunter, but make no mistake, it's still one of the most dangerous birds alive. Why? Because where this bird lives, the environment is already trying to kill you. And if you die, the vulture will know before anyone else does. It can spot death from miles away. Its eyesight is so sharp it can see a corpse the size of a hand from the clouds. When it lands, its presence commands silence. Smaller scavengers scatter. Even crows wait their turn. But what makes it frightening is its aggression when disturbed. Approach a vulture while it feeds or guards its nest, and it'll rise up, hiss, and spread its wings like a dark god. If it strikes, that 10-foot span becomes a weapon of air and bone, capable of knocking a human off balance and on a Himalayan ledge. That's a death sentence. For centuries, locals saw the vulture as a messenger, a soul carrier between the living and the dead. In Tibetan culture, it even plays a sacred role in sky burials, where human remains are offered to the birds as a final act of giving back to nature. It doesn't kill to live, but in the cycle of life and death, the Himalayan vulture ensures nothing is wasted, not even us. Antarctica, the South Polar skua, the ice raider, at the edge of the world where life itself seems impossible, flies a creature feared by penguins, seals, and even scientists, The South Polar skua. It looks like a bulky seagull, but its behavior is pure piracy. The skua steals food, attacks nests, and ambushes penguins mid-hatch, devouring chicks alive. And it's not just animals it targets. Researchers stationed in Antarctica report being dive-bombed repeatedly by the same skuas, because these birds remember faces. If you've ever disturbed one's nest, they'll recognize you months later and attack the moment they see you again. They strike from above, claws raking at your head and shoulders, forcing even humans to duck for cover. In a land ruled by cold and hunger, the skua is the outlaw that survives on cunning and violence. But here's the chilling part. These birds have adapted to predict human behavior. They know where the food supplies are, they know which doors people use, and they know how to wait. They're not just scavengers, they're strategists, feathered opportunists that rule the last wild frontier,